Hello folks, welcome to a very special video today. I've got a treat for you. This is the Just Flight Hawk T Mark 1A, an eagerly anticipated aircraft for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now, I do own the X-Plane version and Aerofly FS2 version, so it's going to be interesting to see how this compares. Now, I think pretty much straight away as I'm panning around here, she is achingly beautiful, as you'd expect. I think the Just Flight team have gone a bit insane with the level of detail here. This is by far the most beautiful rendition of any jet I have seen today. I mean, my God, look at her. She is bite the back of your hand gorgeous, but it's not just the aesthetics that I'm, interested in today. I want to know, how does she feel in the air? Is she fluid? Are the systems pretty decent? Now, of course, this is a preview. This is a beta version, so it's not going to be a full review, guys, okay? And we're also going to be in 2D mode for this entire flight because I've decided from now on, when I'm going to be showcasing a new aircraft, I'm going to show it in 2D first because it makes more sense. You can see all the details on offer here, and my God, is this full of them. Just look at her. She looks totally real, so totally convincing sat here on the ground at RAF Cranwell. We're going to be heading out from here, and then we're going to be flying over the Lincoln Cathedral, over RAF Scampton, which is currently the home of the Royal Air Force Aerobatic Team, the Red Arrows, which we're sporting today. This is the scheme from 2014. Then we're going to be flying all the way to RAF Valley in Wales, and where we're going to be basically flying another flight in VR later on. But what is the Hawk T Mark 1A? Well, it's actually the various versions of it, and basically it's a fully aerobatic two-seat training aircraft used extensively in the RAF for both training capabilities, of course. If you're a pilot in the RAF, you'll actually start your training here at RAF Cranwell on the Grobs. Then you'll move towards the Jacanos and then the fast jet conversion unit in RAF Valley before moving on to perhaps RAF Coningsby. You'll be flying the Typhoons or the F-35. But also, this aircraft is also, it's used in a variety of roles, not just for training, but for close air support, the British Army, defence engagements and overseas exercises. But for today, we're going to be flying a peacetime mission in 2D mode, of course, over to RAF Valley. Now, that amazing attention to detail, as you would expect, extends into the cockpit where we're going to go right now. Here we go. Do you know, I've been so excited to show this aircraft, and it's a massive pleasure. Thank you so much, Just Flight, for allowing me to show this off in its sort of beta state. Tell you what, though, between you and me, guys, this doesn't feel beta at all. And if we just go down here, you can see on the seat is the EFB. Now, many a Just Flight pilot will know what this is, but it's basically all the features and functions of the aircraft. You can control a lot of them from this tablet, including the aircraft states here. We've got an autopilot here. Now, the real Hawk does not have an autopilot, but I do think that's a pretty decent concession in case perhaps you're doing a long-haul flight, perhaps. Although the endurance of this aircraft is about 3 hours tops, I believe. Also, you've got the aircraft options. You can configure it. You can see here, Red Arrow or T1, T1A. And basically what that is that you have the original RAF fast jet trainer with the weapons capability. Then you have a modified T1 for tactical weapons training with wing pylon mounted ordnance. But also, obviously, if you want to be a Red Arrow, which you want to be today, we'll just leave that on there. You can have a GPS, which we're definitely going to have today as part of our flight plan. State saving, I always have that on. It's a great feature and a bit of a trademark of recent Just Flight aircraft, because what that really means is that every time you leave your aircraft overnight somewhere, make sure that you look after it, make sure the chocks are all in place, the covers are there and the battery's off. Otherwise, when you get back to it in the morning, it'll be in the state you left it in. That's brilliant. I love that feature. Simple but very authentic. And of course, many other things as well, including opening the canopies, nose hatch. You can change the controls. We just want the front today. And talking of the controls, actually, if I just go to the camera and show you that the back of the aircraft here, the rear co-pilot seat, is also fully functional. And I recommend, if you're going to be flying this in VR, which I know you will be, definitely fly it from this seat. It's absolutely mind-blowing. And one more thing before we get this aircraft fired up, I'm just going to show you the payload section here, which is very clever because it actually adds missiles and all sorts of gadgets in real time. So say I want the AIM 9M on my red arrow, which is a bit weird. Oh, look at that. That's so wrong. But it just shows you what you can do. That's very clever, isn't it? You don't have to reload the aircraft. Some clever sort of wizardry there from the team. Right, let's get this aircraft all fired up and ready for takeoff, because this is becoming a bit more than just a preview. Sorry about that, guys. There's just so much to say. Right, we'll just take the chocks, covers, flags and steps off. There we go. And just look at it in the sun there. I am going to take about 1 million screenshots just in this one flight. I just know it. And we're going to get this aircraft all ready. So first thing we need to do is actually put the battery on. Battery number 1. You'll get a warning. Now, we need to check the voltage. That's important. And that's down here. We've got a nice healthy battery. We would normally do that with battery number 2 as well, but to save time, we'll just put them both on. Then we're going to put the LP cock to the on position. Fuel pump can go on. And the engine start, we'll put that to on. And as you can see there, the turbine is now kicking in. I already actually pressed that before. That's why it started. But normally you would click that button there. At that point, I'm going to shut up so you can hear the startup sounds in their entirety. Because honestly, of all the startup sounds I've heard in all aircraft that I've ever experienced in Microsoft Flight Simulator, this is by far the closest to anything you'd find from DCS. That is massive praise indeed, and I truly mean that. I think the Just Flight in development team, the audio department, they are literally doing some incredible things here with the sound engine. And by that, I'm now going to shut up, I promise now, and listen to those startup sounds. So, here we go. I think you'll agree, folks, those sounds are very well done indeed. Right, we'll make things a bit quieter now. Oh, canopy can go down. Sounds so good. There we go. All the sounds have got such beautiful crisp audio. I love it. Okay, we'll continue with our startup. We'll now make sure that the hydraulic number 2 is reset, and then as you can see there, the bars will start coming up. Also, you can see there at the top, that is our brake pressure. That's all good. Need to make sure that the altimeter has been tested. We'll do that now. That's over here. Very nice indeed. And we'll just make sure our local pressure is set. That's 3009. You can come down here. Actually, the air conditioning can go on, and even that has its own sound. And of course the oxygen, kind of important. I'm not doing this in the right order, by the way, guys, in case you're wondering. And I really like this. The radios are all fully functional, and particularly they do a self-test as well. Look at this, look. And then it goes into the sort of standby. I love that. And also TACAN functionality is something that is supported in this aircraft. I can't remember if Microsoft Flight Simulator only detects the radial or the distance, but that again is a sim issue, but it is supported, and of course the rudder lock will take that off as well. Okay, anti-skid can come off later on. Of course, something I forgot to do as well, and that's we need lights. So we'll just put the anti-collision lights on. Panel lights, we'll have a bit of that going here as well, just a little bit. And look, as I get really close to these textures, they remain sharp, and you've got all the scratches and dirt and grime that you'd expect as well. Love it. We'll also do a air brake test. I'm sure you've seen the Red Arrows do this many times before. Here we go. Oh, do you know, I'm going to say this a lot, guys. This aircraft is so beautiful. It looks so damn real. It really does. Anyway, we'll continue with our startup checklist. I'll cut the video here and we'll crack on and get to the end of the runway, ready for our flight today. See you in a moment. Now, one thing I've forgotten to do, actually, because I'm doing this in two parts. There we go. The GPS is now fully functional, and that gives us our flight plan. I do really like that, because that's one thing I've noticed in some military aircraft. The design choice not to put a GPS in there, or autopilot, while probably more realistic in some cases, I do actually think it's a really good concession for the sim. By the way, we've also got the smoke system works as well. In fact, why don't we show? I'll show that off as we take off from RAF Cranwell, because we just have to. It's just the rules, guys. We have to use the smoke on takeoff. Are you ready for this, folks? I'm super excited. Let's put the, what do you reckon, red smoke on, or maybe, yeah, we'll go for blue smoke actually. And the smoke looks really volumetric as well. Look at that. Very nice effects indeed there. Right, we're ready for takeoff. I think we should strap ourselves in and go for it. Oh, absolutely gorgeous. Okay, concentrating here. 100 knots. Rotate. We are airborne. And just look at that. Absolutely, look at the textures as well. We go really close. And that's the college there, Cranwell College. That looks absolutely real to me. Yeah, they've done a stellar job here. If you're wondering how this compares against the likes of Aerofly FS2, well, there's absolutely no comparison at all, but that's because the sim is a very different beast altogether. Aerofly FS2 has a lot of limitations, and it was quite, shall I say, even the word ballsy of Just Flight to even attempt to create such a complex sort of military jet trainer in that sim, and they did their best. But this is a whole different level, guys. So please bear that in mind, even from the X-Plane version. And she flies so beautifully. Look, the smoke as well stays in the air, which I really like, so you can do plenty of aerobatics if you wish. And overhead there we can also see Lincoln Cathedral coming into view, and Waddington. So that is the Lincoln Cathedral and the Lincoln Castle. And it's quite a regular sight to see a red arrow fly over, as well as the Lancaster. Oh, look at that, that's beautiful. Screenshot time! Oh my god. That is so gorgeous. What a sight. Anyway, we'll now head back onto our flight plan, and we'll get some altitude and head over to RAF Valley. But I have to say, this is my third flight with the aircraft now, and yeah, she feels really smooth, really fluid in the air, as you'd expect. Next port of call will be RAF Scampton, which is now dead ahead as well. We'll go for white smoke here, and we're just going to overfly the airfield for many reasons. One, because this is actually the home at the moment of the aerobatic team, the Red Arrows, of course, which we're sporting today, but also because this was home of 617 Squadron, the famous Dam Buster raid, and soon Scampton is going to be decommissioned, and I feel very sad about that, to be honest. So this is actually quite a poignant moment, so I'll be quiet and just enjoy this flight pass. Beautifully done. I have to say the smoke looks really convincing. Very nice indeed. Right, we'll now head back onto a flight plan once again, and we'll get some altitude. We'll check out the autopilot system, and I'll give you some of my thoughts. Okay, we're intercepting our flight plan now, and what we'll do actually, just going to trim the aircraft up a little bit, and we'll put the aircraft into GPS mode here. See the flag went there, and we'll just go altitude, hold and nav mode and see what happens basically. See how she flies. Oh guys, seriously, this is pure quality. It really is. I mean, this doesn't even feel like a beta, so I think by the time, as I say, you get your hands on this, it's going to be absolutely polished. Just everything about the aircraft, the whine, that distinctive whine that you hear so much at Red Arrow displays. You know, I don't know about you guys, but I've seen the Hawks, I've been to RAF Valley a number of times, and particularly because I live in Lincolnshire, I get to see them a lot, the Red Arrows as well, and that distinctive whine has really been replicated perfectly here. Just look at that, the attention to detail here. It's an absolute work of art, this. Oh, and the spatial audio as well. Sounds different from here to there. And look at that. Oh, even is that shaking? I'm not quite sure, it feels like it, but it's certainly the heat blur there. You're getting a quality aircraft, without a doubt. I absolutely love showcasing Just Flight aircraft because they are literally the easiest to recommend. They're my favourite developer right now when it comes to quality. I don't think anyone can touch them. Apart from, say, Flying Irons. I think they're, with their recent P38, which I haven't shown the channel because I just haven't got the time, and also their Flying Iron Spitfire. That comes close. But I do feel this is the real deal here. You know, this is as good as you're going to get right now for this sim. And she does feel very fluid in the air, but we're going to look at that a bit later on as well. Once we get to RAF Valley, or in fact in Wales and Anglesey, we're going to drop down quite low and maybe just do a loop perhaps, and just a few little basic manoeuvres as well, just to see how she flies in sort of an aerobatic capacity. So I'll see you a bit further down the road, guys, and yeah, enjoy the flight. Oh, look at her. Absolutely amazing. Now, this is the kind of level of detail you get in VR, but it doesn't translate that way on the mirror. That's why I've decided to go 2D. And I hope you're enjoying these visuals today, guys, because they are breathtaking. Absolutely breathtaking. And I could listen to those sounds all day long. How they transition from that raw exhaust pipe there to the side, and then you've got that characteristic whine of the engine. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. Right, that's Liverpool below us, and then later on over there we'll be heading over Llandudno and dropping down into sort of Anglesey. There's another screenshot right there. To say that we are just a little bit spoilt these days is an understatement, don't you think, folks? I really do feel that flight simulation has really reached a point. This is the glory days right here. We're living in them right now, and enjoy it, embrace it. It's just fantastic. Just to also add, if any of you are watching this that watched my previous video of the HTC Vive Flow, no, that is not the massive VR announcement, okay? Calm down, that's coming very soon, okay? My goodness me. You are a passionate lot, that's what I'm going to say there. Actually, let's just have a quick look in the back seat here. Oh, wow. Absolutely fantastic. This has definitely been worth the wait. There's a reason why they take their time between releases. Just everywhere you look is absolutely stunning. I run out of superlatives, guys, I really do. They've got those sounds spot on. And the autopilot is really behaving itself as well, which is great to see. Correcting there for a bit of wind. And we are nearly at RAF Valley already. So I think we might actually drop down now, take the autopilot off, and especially as we're a bit low on fuel, and yeah, get down and have some fun. In fact, you know what, I'm going to cheat because I've got a feeling I didn't really think about the fuel we needed, and yeah, look at that, 23%. I'm going to cheat, guys, for this. It's okay, it's a flight simulator, we can cheat sometimes. That should give us enough. Right then, time to drop down and have some fun here. And in case you're wondering, I have used this in VR, and as you can imagine, it's incredible. In fact, what I did say a few years ago when I was flying the X-Plane version, I said that's the best possible experience you could have in a VR headset right now in X-Plane. It's the same here, folks. This is my favourite VR aircraft to fly, because the Hawk, I think generally speaking, you get that full incredible vision like you would in the real aircraft, because it's such a wonderful aircraft to fly in real life. So I've been told. I've never flown one, but I have spoken to a couple of pilots who have flown the Hawk over the years. Very lucky to have spoken to some of the Red Arrows as well, and you know, get some of their impressions of how the Hawk flies. And I get that feeling here with this model. Right, so we're just passing over Little Orme, that's Great Orme, and that's Llandudno. Beautiful area, I'd recommend going there. In fact, I was there just a few weeks ago en route to Ireland on the bike, and you know, I'm always reminded how beautiful Wales actually is. I always forget until I'm there again. And I have to say, Microsoft Flight Simulator does a great job of recreating all the amazing locations around the world, really. And this is it, you know, an aircraft of this fidelity in a sim where you can travel the world with this level of detail and in VR, it really is a very special time. In fact, what we'll do is we'll follow the exact road that we went over to head to the ferry, which is actually in Holyhead. I actually remember being on that road and I could really smell the sea. It was such an amazing strong smell, it was so lovely. And it was a really hot day as well in August, which we didn't have many actually in the UK. And you really hug the coast here as well. This is actually an amazing touring aircraft if you want to get somewhere pretty damn quick. If you're wondering what kind of frame rate we're getting in 2D, by the way, I'm getting between 90 and 110 frames per second. That's running my RTX 3090 with a 10900K. In VR, I'm getting around 40 to 45 frames per second at the moment with the G2. Quest 2, a little bit less, about 35 frames per second. The Pimax, I'm actually getting better performance with that these days, and again, I do feel the Pimax is a really good headset to use for this type of flying. But yeah, in terms of frame rate, she is very, very optimised, very well optimised. Right, here we go then. What we'll do is, actually, we'll just head over here. Over these famous bridges. Next up, RAF Valley. And there's another screenshot right there. You've literally I must have taken about 100 screenshots now. Oh, look at that for a shot. I'm trying to control the aircraft at the same time. That is epic. It looks just like the real thing. You'd be hard pressed to work out if that was real or not, honestly. It feels like they've lifted the real Hawk and put it into the sim. Just so good. Right, anyway, 12 o'clock, you can see there, that is RAF Valley. Or is it actually? No, it isn't, I don't think. No, it is, that's RAF Valley over there. We're going to head nice and low, we're going to attempt a loop, and then a run-in and brake, and come in for a landing. Now, as part of the smoke system, you can actually use different configurations, so we can have, say, blue and white together, which will create sort of a pinky white colour. And maybe we could try having red and white. That would be pink, wouldn't it? Yeah. And maybe try white and blue. And I really like how the smoke stays in the sky for quite a long time as well. Say if we did do a loop, in fact we'll do a loop with this smoke on, and you'll be able to see the trail quite far, back, which is a nice design touch as well. Now I'd imagine that's probably down to your settings as well. We're running ultra settings today, so whether that's some sort of thing that needs to be set in the sim, I'm not sure, but actually I have noticed a little bit of a frame rate drop there with the smoke. Right, we're running in now for our loop attempt, shall I say. It feels weird doing this without VR. All my sort of reference points stuff are all just, it's just not right, it doesn't feel right, but never mind. Right, we'll put some red smoke on. Here we go. That is a sight. Oh, look at that! That is beautiful! And you can even hear the wind flow being disrupted as well. And there we are, we can do a full loop look and go right through our own smoke. Oh! That is fantastic. And there it is, the full loop in the sky! That is exceptional. Honestly, guys, who wants to start a Red Arrows team? I'll be up for that. Although we'll be nowhere near as good as the actual official virtual Red Arrows, which I'm hoping they're going to embrace this aircraft and use this in this sim, because it's certainly good enough. Right, I tell you what, we'll leave it there, because we're in a nice position now to go downwind and go for a landing here. Just get the air brake out, there we go. And listen to the air brake, okay, I'm going to deploy it again. Wow. And also, if you do high G manoeuvres, listen to that. It's those details that make all the difference. I am going to be flying this bird a lot. Oh yes, indeed. Gear coming down there, looking absolutely stunning as you'd expect. So what do I think to the Hawk T-Mark 1A from Just Flight? Well, having flown many hours in both the X-Plane version, in fact I'm going to compare it to the X-Plane version actually, In fact, I'm going to get rid of the GPS so I can see better. Which I really like how you can do that. Oh, sorry, wrong button. There we go. That's it. It's actually surpassed my expectations. This is an absolute must-buy, without a doubt. There is a lot of military aircraft out there now for this sim. I think some of the quality of such payware aircraft are very sketchy. But I have to say, this is a solid aircraft from Just Flight. The team have done an amazing job. I know how hard they've been working on this, and I've been really eager to show this on the channel. And absolutely, this is a must-buy for any jet fan. I love the Hawk. It just feels right having an aircraft like this in this sim as well. Ooh, look at the blur there. Do you see that? The blur of the landing gear. Whoa, stay on the bloody runway, Steve. Yeah, absolute winner. I hope you enjoyed that, and if you want some more content of the Hawk, particularly in VR, please let me know. I think I'll end this video here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again on the next one. Bye-bye for now. Take care.